Steam hissed like an angry cat as I crouched in front of the train station platform. I will always think of a train as a black, angry monster, but today I needed one to take me far away, and quickly. My knee throbbed and I stumbled. Picking myself up, I headed for the train yard. Several trains clacked back and forth. I saw one sluggishly crawl away. I ran for the boxcar. The door was ajar, and I scrambled over the edge and onto the rolling floor. Beneath me, I felt the train shudder. It huffed and groaned and picked up speed. I saw the world streak by in a dizzying flash. Without thinking, I flopped back onto a pile of straw. "Hey!" a voice from the straw exclaimed. "Get off me!" I tumbled backward and cowered in the corner. A boy stuck his head out of the straw. "Who are you?" he said. He looked about maybe 12 or 13 summers old. That was close to my age. "Well, I began. "Bet you're lost." The boy plucked straw out of his auburn hair. "As long as you don't work for the railroad, we're good." He paused. "You don't work for the railroad, do you?" I shook my head. I didn't want to tell him I was an apothecary's apprentice. The boy suddenly laughed and stuck out his hand. "I'm Finn. What's your name?" "Lila." "Well, it looks like we'll be train buddies. Do you know where you're heading?" "Out of the city," I replied. Finn brushed himself off and leaned out the door. I sat up in alarm. "Be careful!" Finn just shrugged. "I'm heading to the countryside." "You farm?" "Huh? Nah, I'm gonna work on the railroad lines." He straightened up. "And I'm gonna find my uncle." "Well, I wish you luck." Finn swung the door closed. "Are you looking for someone too?" "Sorta." I turned away. I didn't want to talk anymore, so I ran my finger over Papa's key. Finn didn't say anything at first. He crossed his arms and sat down on the hay. It was then that I noticed his right hand was wrapped. "Just a splinter," he said when he caught me looking. "Your knee's bleeding, by the way." I glanced down and saw that my skirt had torn from the knee down to the hem. Blood trickled down my stocking. I tore part of my skirt's hem and wrapped my knee. When the throbbing subsided, I glanced back at Finn. He was trying to retie the bandage around his hand. "Does it hurt?" I finally asked. Finn shrugged. "Nah." But I saw that his hand was red. "It looks pretty swollen," I continued. "That splinter should come out." "What are you, a doc?" He probably meant it as a joke, but I pressed my lips shut. All right. I was just kidding," he said. He held out his hand. "Here, take a look if you want. Just don't faint." He smirked. I ignored him and studied the splinter. It had to be over an inch long. "I'll probably get into worse scrapes while working for the railroad," Finn said. "This one was from climbing down a drain pipe and falling into a stack of lumber." "I actually feel sorry for that lumber." "Pocket knife." I held out my hand. "What?" "The splinter needs to come out, or it'll get infected. Your choice." Finn stared at me for a moment. He finally fumbled around in his back pocket and pulled out the slender knife. I opened it up. The antique silver reminded me of Papa's old one. Carefully, I used the thin blade to work the splinter free. Once removed, I rewrapped Finn's hand. "Keep it clean," I said, "or it really will get infected." Finn nodded his thanks and leaned against the boxcar wall. "So, are you a doc in disguise?" "No." And I never will be, I thought. But would I continue being an apothecary? Or would that dream be taken from me too?